Live Tuesday, August 22nd from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios. This is Fantasy Dominance Now. Come dominate fantasy sports with us. And bringing you all the tools to dominate is the Soap Stash, the new soap standard. Like them on Facebook, Soap Stash LLC. Find them online, soapstash.com. And for ordering information, call 844-890-3197. From the best soap in the business, we are the best fantasy minds in the business. Happy Solar Eclipse, everybody. You know I had to talk about it right away. It was everywhere on social media yesterday. Thank you ever so much for joining us, both on YouTube and now on Facebook Live. We have Noah Syndergaard's body double from Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Mikey Kleinkoff.
That's right.
We got the panty dropper extraordinaire, Brian Daly.
Where?
Right there.
Right where?
You're showing me your conquest before the show starts.
I won't call it a conquest.
Not yet. And I'm Free Zeke sympathizer Rob Povia. We're all here guiding you to fantasy dominance thanks to Matt Sensudi in the producer's chair. Mr. Fresh is off this week since he went to see the Eclipse yesterday down in South Carolina, which I thought was a super cool idea.
Yeah.
Totality.
Pretty dope experience.
Yeah.
Real quick, since you were freeing Zeke, I did have one of my first drafts, and I got Zeke in the third round.
Did you?
Yeah, he ended up dropping down there. I mean, also, it was only 8-person draft, but there's no way that he was coming back for the fourth round for me because I had the first pick. So.
Right. No, certainly. And I think it mattered on how many teams were in there, too, because I was in a 12-team draft this weekend, and he went mid-second round. I actually balked on him. I went Jordan Howard instead, and I was going to come back around in the third and get Zeke.
Yeah.
So that way I figured I had a clear number one, and then however the Zeke situation worked out, that would be my RB2, and I'd be sitting really pretty when his suspension ended. But he actually went mid-second in this draft, but 12-person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured that was going to wind up happening mid-second, third, some leagues maybe even a fourth, but a lot of people aren't going to take him in the first round. They're going to take guys that are obviously going to
actually
produce,
play.
Yeah,
but that's the thing, too. I've also heard he could appeal this and take this to, I guess, the Supreme Court and play this whole season, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it goes that far as to, you know, not taking a 2-game suspension or something like that, it could go further and he could end up playing all season. So,
yeah.
That's the risk that people have to take.
Or it'll get delayed, and then he's out for the fantasy football playoffs.
Which would
just
suck.
to piss off people that drafted him.
Which would be horrible, but...
Well, speaking of the Eclipse, you guys enjoy it or just went about your day as normal?
I went about my day as normal.
Yeah.
Went out, played golf with a buddy. That's about it.
Well, at least you're outdoors, though, checking it out. Did it get darker at all in your area? It didn't really get – not like totality areas like Illinois and certainly the Carolinas.
No, I mean, we had such a sliver from where I am that I feel like it didn't even affect anything. Plus, we had a lot of cloud cover, too.
Right. Yeah,
so
we did.
Yeah, I was
that didn't help.
I actually got the glasses, so I was in and out of work all day looking up at the sun. People, like, I'm not even kidding you. I made my my work happy.
Was I the only one that thought of Heroes?
Maybe, because I just actually thought about that now and how that plays together.
Yeah, everybody was like, they were coming up, Mike, give me your glasses. And everybody's outside, all looking up at the sun. We're all standing in the middle of the parking lot, like.
Bunch of jewels over here. Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, it was definitely a cool experience, and, you know.
Once in a lifetime, or if you are in Illinois in 7 years, you'll get to see it again.
Yeah. Which I'm sure I won't be.
But usually for, like, total eclipse, you have to go to, like, Ghana or some far outreaches or whatever. For it to go across the continental United States, I think, is the once-in-a-lifetime aspect of it.
Yeah, it's supposed to do it again, 2024, something like that.
Right.
It's actually supposed to be closer to our area during that time.
Sweet.
I've seen the estimated path, so I mean, we'll see what happens.
End of the world, people. 7 years. Go, smoke them if you got them. Or dominate your fantasy football drafts, fantasy baseball leagues, DFS leagues, anything that's fantasy we cover here on Fantasy Dominance Now. And if you want in on the dominance, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You search a2dradio.com. Now, if you got fantasy questions, a couple more ways to do that. You can comment here on the book on Facebook Live. You can tweet at us with the hashtag AskFDN. You can go to if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go right to the live chat. No matter what the avenue, hashtag AskFDN. We'll get to your questions live on the show. Me personally, I'm at RobbieBLTZ. Mike, you are at?
Mike _Kleinkoff.
And Brian, you are at?
Brian _A2D Radio.
And we got a great show in store for all you guys today and girls out there. Anquan Boldin straight up left Bills camp and retired after a 14-year NFL career. That's how bad the Bills are.
Which I'm surprised.
I stole Tommy's line from the meme.
Listen, I was hoping somebody was going to bring that up. I really do, because you know what? I found it hysterical when I found out that I was like, oh, Anquan Boldin's retiring, huh? Shows that the Bills have zero future in their division.
Yeah.
Or even in the league.
Yeah, definitely not that division. As long as Tom Brady's there, nobody has a future in that division.
Yeah. Yeah, until he hangs him up, the GOAT.
He's going to play forever. What are you talking about?
TB12,
man. TB12.
He'll be 80 years old with a walker and still slinging it.
The unoriginal TB12.
75 Super Bowls later.
Yeah, right.
67 MVPs. He's going to go. He's going to go.
And a partridge in a pear tree, right?
Right.
Oh, man. Speaking of football, though, we cap off today's show and our draft coverage with the coup de grace sleepers. And maybe one sleeper comes from Anquan Boldin retiring. We'll get to that later on in the show. We also have MLB DFS Value Plays for DraftKings and FanDuel, along with our stack, fade, and lock of the night. But first, both Max Scherzer and Yu Darvish have hit the 10-day DL with injuries, leaving a void in many lineups. We asked you on Facebook and Twitter which injury is more alarming heading towards the fantasy baseball playoffs. Is it Mad Max? Is it Big U? Or is it another one? Because there are several. We have another walking mash unit this week, just yesterday alone.
Yeah, going through my list of people here, there's so many. And a lot of pitchers, too.
I mean, my fantasy team is the walking mash unit alone. And they all went on at the same time, so hopefully they're all going to come off at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Well, out of those two, we'll just center on them two, the big names first, and then there's also bigger names on this list, but since they're in the thumbnail, we'll give them some love. Who do you think's more alarming, the Max Scherzer injury or the Yu Darvish injury?
I'm going to go Scherzer on this one, only because the Dodgers have such a huge lead right now that losing him for a start or two, I don't think will really affect them as much. I think, I think the Nationals are probably still going to – both of these teams are still going to pull away with their division. But to me, I just feel like Scherzer, with all the other injuries as well, and with the injury that it is being his neck, I think is more concerning as well.
Right. Yeah, big time. We see
bulging discs and stuff like that could be season-ending.
Oh, absolutely. And who were we talking about before the show? Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah.
That sort of shanghaied his season.
Yeah.
He was 9-0 before the neck injury.
Yeah. So, to me, I mean, that's definitely more alarming and more concerning than Darvish's back. But, I mean, then again, that's another injury that could be pretty serious as well.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it could really go either way, but, with Scherzer's neck and Yu Darvish's back, like you said, they both can be career-ending. But as far as we're looking at rosters and we're looking at playoff position, and honestly, I think Yu Darvish could be the one that winds up being a little bit, threatening as far as severity goes.
Right. In terms of the back, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of it this way, Dodgers are going all in on winning the World Series this year. And, you gave up a lot to get Yu Darvish in here, and he's
already hurt.
I believe, he's already here, but I also believe he's on his last year of his contract.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is his last out of the 5 years. Pretty sure it's a 5-year contract.
So, if you don't get him back and you don't win it this year, what happens? You gave up all those prospects for pretty much nothing when you're trying to do what the Washington Capitals did in the NHL last year, and you're buying in on winning now.
Right. You make a great point. You definitely make a great point. You bring this guy in, and ironically enough, you bring him in, Clayton Kershaw's down. He's your new ace until Kershaw comes back, and now he's down. So I think that's more alarming for the Dodgers. But here's the good news, people, is that he did miss his start, or he will be missing his start today due to being placed on the 10-day DL retroactive. But They are hoping that he will be able to make his start this Sunday, the 27th. So it's not a long period of time. So for a fantasy baseball owner, Yu Darvish, really you're missing one start that you could easily stream. And we'll get to some streaming pictures later on, probably second segment, and which you'll have to catch on YouTube. We're going to sign off on Facebook Live after our first segment talking the injuries. But, yeah, certainly – that's why it's not that alarming for me, because it's a short duration. That's what we're hearing now. But how many times have you been told something that, oh, yeah, the guy's only going to be out minimum 10 days and he'll be back in the rotation, and then he's back 3 weeks later? This can happen. So, I do keep that in the back of my mind, but I know the severity of injury is far less with Darvish. So I'm a little bit more concerned about Max Scherzer, because you take away Max from that Washington Nationals rotation, it really hits home more, because even without Kershaw, you still have Alex Wood, who's had a borderline Cy Young season. Rich Hill has shown to be able to get it done. Kenta Maeda, who's really, from a slow start and actually being relegated to the bullpen, has been one of their best starters.
He's been phenomenal lately.
Yeah,
right,
he had a good game the other day.
Right, absolutely. So they have depth, but who do the Nationals have?
They have Gio, Strasburg's coming back. Tanner Roark's not having the same year that he had last year, but I feel like he's still putting up decent numbers. Both rotations are fairly deep. So, if we're looking at just strict rotations here, Kershaw's out, Darvish is out. Strasburg is coming back, and they lose Max Scherzer. I like Washington's rotation still a lot better. I think they're still in a better position than the Dodgers are.
Yeah. Team-wise, I think you do raise a good point there, because I was really elevating the Dodgers rotation ahead of the Nationals rotation, because, Strasburg hasn't been Strasburg. You know what I mean? Let's face facts there. And, Gio has been better, especially if you received him in a trade or drafted him this year. You've definitely gotten great value out of Gio, right? But without Max, and I'm talking on you're a fantasy owner. If you drafted Max Scherzer, who's easily top 3 in the league right now, your number 2 after him is going to be a lot more of a gap than, say, Yu Darvish and your next guy, or probably even the guy ahead of him, maybe, because maybe Yu Darvish was your SP2, and maybe you had, Dallas Keuchel, you had, a Chris Sale, for argument's sake, a Noah Syndergaard, right? So I think most fantasy baseball teams are going to feel the absence of Mad Max more than Darvish, in my opinion.
No, I agree with it. And Tom Arnone chiming in, going with Yu Darvish being the more alarming loss.
This is why it's a good debate. You can make a great argument on both sides.
Absolutely.
When it comes down to it, yeah, because really the Dodgers are leaning on Darvish right now, because, like I said, Kershaw's out, right? But to me, that lineup can still win you a lot of 10-6, 8-6, whatever amount you want to put on the Dodgers side. They'll outscore you. You know what I mean? So I'm a little less concerned, and also from a fantasy standpoint, but it still hurts. This is now one of the elite arms in the National League, which is weird for me to say. I'm so used to him being on the Texas Rangers.
Right.
And he'll probably wind up returning to the Texas Rangers to come after this offseason anyhow. It's a pure rental situation.
Yeah, definitely pure rental.
Yeah.
Which, if he goes back to Texas, then they purely won this all,
Well, I think Texas won this regardless, unless the Dodgers win the World Series. Like I said, That's why you bring him in. You're bolstering that rotation, not only because you have a Clayton Kershaw, who's on the DL, but you're trying to win now. And oddly enough, the one weak spot that the Dodgers had was their starting rotation, and it wasn't really a weak spot. Just looking for some solid pitching to get them through the playoffs, and they got it. And just hope it's not serious. He's back in the lineup. We're back in the rotation as soon as possible.
Definitely.
Just as a whole, Dodgers have the better pitching overall.
Yeah, definitely overall, 100%. And I think overall they probably have the best all-around team too. Maybe.
Now here's the one saving
with Bryce Harper being out right now.
Yeah, that hurts too. You have your best offensive guy and your best pitcher out. Yeah. Thankfully, the Nationals 14 games up, so it doesn't really matter so much.
I think they're fine either way. Like I said, both of these teams are going to win their divisions. It's just that who's your bigger loss going, into the playoffs and stuff like that, and who can actually take that toll in the playoffs, Like Scherzer, for me, it's got to be Scherzer, just because, I feel like that could be more long-term and nag him a little more than, I mean, it's the back too, but,
Right.
Neck and back, they're both bad, but, yeah, I think the Scherzer one is definitely a bigger toll on the team than Darvish.
Yeah, you just never know.
Right. Update on Scherzer. I mean, this is the same neck injury that caused him to leave a game on August 1st, so it seems to be a little bit reoccurrent. They might be a little bit more patient with them bringing him back, which is going to hurt you if you're a Max owner and you're on the bubble trying to make the fantasy baseball playoffs. I could see this turn into a 2-3 week thing at the very minimum. He was scratched very late. A lot of you had him set in your DFS lineups and had to scramble, to get a replacement in there. I saw Twitter just a buzz with "Get Max out of your lineups now, do it now." But Scherzer said that the injury resulted from sleeping on his neck funny, and the injury he's now dealing with is the same issue, but on the other side of the neck. So he's saying that it's you're getting mixed reports that it's the same type of neck injury, but now it's the other side. He's saying, I just slept on it wrong. You know what I mean?
I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah, there's a lot of misnomers here, but I don't know. I mean, hopefully it is. Hopefully it is just like a stiff neck, and
Could very well be.
You get older, and I could testify to this, man. Stiff necks can last a couple days.
Yeah, I've had that, but you just never know. They don't give you straight answers anymore. They try and make things seem, how can I put this, as less severe as possible. And it blows smoke up fans' asses, and fantasy guys are just sitting here waiting like, what's the update? What's the update? What's going on?
Yeah.
It sucks.
No, you speak truths, man, but I don't blame them, though, because in a game of cloak and daggers, you don't want to tip your hand. You don't want to tip your hand to your opponents or what have you, and they don't care about us fantasy players. They don't.
They
give two shits. They're in the business to get W's.
Yeah.
The curly W. Matter of fact, there in Washington.
Right, and I get it. It just just from a fantasy standpoint, it sucks when you feel like they're hiding something, when they make injuries seem less severe, and then next thing you know, this guy's on the 10-day DL. Next thing you know, he's on the 60-day DL because, something happened or they didn't see something originally that they saw the second time around.
Well, the big thing is you got to have a contingency plan. You have a contingency plan on your team, on your watch list. We'll get into later in the show ad recommendations, certainly on the pitcher side. Also some batter, hitter recommendations, because there's a lot of injuries going on right now, guys. Let's face facts, and there's a whole laundry list of them. Let's kind of transition into that, and that's being brought to you by the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call, 856-889-3434. Look them up online, scanzanosports.com. Come get your game in shape. One guy I'll just bring up very quickly, and we can go through a lot. I'm just going to go through the day that was yesterday real quick. We had Andrew Miller go down to an injury. He came out of a game. I believe it was in the 7th inning. I'm going to pull up the latest here.
I think you're right, because I remember getting that update on my phone.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, he aggravated his knee injury in his second appearance back. He just got back from the disabled list on Monday. The good news is Miller said he believes he'll be fine. He sounds optimistic that he'll avoid going back on the DL, currently day-to-day listed. This is something you're going to want to really have a close eyes on and monitor, because after re-aggravating the same injury that put him on the shelf, earlier this month, that could be a detriment to some fantasy teams' bullpens.
For sure. Yeah, he's definitely a key guy there, so.
Glad I traded him.
And big surprise, we got Steven Matz back on the DL.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who would have figured, right?
Surprise.
Right. He's actually going to undergo surgery to repair his left elbow, which was diagnosed with irritation to the ulnar nerve, which he constantly has problems with. This kid just doesn't have the longevity. He just, every pitcher puts so much hurt on their arm when they go every day, and it's all about, can your body withstand it on the day-to-day? I think, as much talent as Matt has, it can't. It can't, and his season's now over. Matter of fact, it may even dip into 2018.
I was just gonna ask, how long does that rehab take?
Yeah. Basically, I'm trying to get – he's not getting Tommy John surgery, so it's not 12 to 18 months. But, according to this, they're just saying it could cost him some time next season as well. I could see him having a delayed spring training, maybe coming in, April. He's certainly not draft worthy, even if you were considering him, for next year, maybe even a deep keeper league or what have you. You can kind of write him off the list, I think.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's a shame. It's like you said, he's a talented pitcher. He's shown that he can pitch in this league. He just can't stay healthy.
No.
And it's a shame.
Yeah, because, at times, you want to talk about Kershaw. He's very Kershaw-like. He can just shut down the opposition and get you mad fantasy points or really help you out throughout your categories. But he's not helping you on the DL, which he is now on, as well as Miguel Sano was placed on the 10-day DL with a shin injury. What's that?
No, I said, Jesus Christ. It's like big name after big name.
It really is, right?
After this year, he's actually having a pretty solid year, too. So.
Are you a Sano owner?
No.
No?
I was before I traded him away to you last season.
Yeah.
But I didn't bother with him this year because the last season pissed me off.
It's got a couple comments rolling in here. We got Frank Vespi chiming in. It's you. You has a history of injuries. You may hurt your team. Frank.
The double entendres are killing me.
And
Love it, though. Thank you, Frank.
We also got Joe Kearns Jr. chiming in. What's up, guys? Good show.
Gracias, sir. We aim to please. Any fantasy questions, we're here for you. Absolutely. On YouTube, we got Sixers JT chiming in. Yu Darvish injury messed up my fantasy team. And he asks, who will be a better fantasy QB this season, Wentz or Eli? I love it how you go from baseball to football because we're all things fantasy here on Fantasy Dominance now. Who do you guys think? Who's better, Wentz or Eli, coming into the season?
I think it's going to be Wentz. You got Brandon Marshall, who went down last night. OBJ went down last night, and you don't know the severity of the injuries yet.
And Sterling Shepard's still not 100, so
I have to say it's definitely going to be Wentz, just based off of that alone.
Yeah, I'm probably going to stay with Philly too. I think I'm going to go Wentz. I just, getting Aguilar and Torrey Smith to work with him as well. I think, or not Aguilar, sorry, Alshon Jeffrey. And Torrey Smith to work with him, I think, is going to benefit him a lot in the pass game. So, yeah, I'd have to go Wentz. Eli turns the ball over too much.
Exactly. That you took the words right out of my mouth, and it's about time somebody did that to me because I do that to Brian every show we do. It seems like
Eli probably averages 18 interceptions and 6 fumbles a year.
The only thing I'll say about Eli, though, is that he's going to be throwing it 40-plus times every game because they have no running game. So if you think about the fantasy game, the more opportunities, usually the better player.
Mm-hmm.
The more touches, the more throws, the more targets.
I'm with you on that, too. That's why I was kind of hesitant to say Wentz.
Well,
only because of that.
Here's what I'm going to say. So far in the preseason, the Eagles have had 0 running game as well.
Right.
LeGarrette Blount's been nowhere to be found because they're running them east to west when they should be running them north and south. We don't know what we're going to get from Wendell Smallwood. Donnell Pumphrey has yet to show up. Eagles could be throwing it 40 times a game, too. Even Sproles.
Are they really considering cutting Blount?
I heard that, too.
Wow.
I think that would be crazy.
Well, it's kind of funny that you bring that up. David Navo chiming in, starting QB, Breeze or Dak. And then we, with the comment you just made, Joe Kearns chiming in with, do you think the Eagles are going to trade Blount?
I think they could. Maybe just get an asset for him if you don't think he's going to fit in your system. I would definitely trade him and, get something for him if you don't feel right with him. And to go with Navo, it's 100% Breeze.
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. Fantasy-wise, 100%. And
you're talking 5,000 yards versus
if
a
we're
guy who
talking
threw
for the
38.
next 10 years, you're going Dak. But obviously,
right. Dynasty League,
League,
maybe it's closer.
Maybe look Dak, but But for season long, 100% Drew Brees. Drew Brees is going to be close to another 5,000 yard, year.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to hit 5,000. Dak was just under 4,000 last year. I think he's going to improve immensely as his career goes on.
I don't know about 5,000. I mean, that's a feat that's only been done, a handful of times. I mean, most of them by Breeze. I think that was 5.
It was like 5 years in a row or something like that. But
well, not in a row, but he's had him in his career or what have you. Don't you think that's going to maybe take a little hit with minus Brandon Cooks?
I don't think so. I mean, you still have Michael Thomas, who's going to be your number one now. You still have Willie Snead, who's going back to the slot with the signing of Ted Ginn Jr. And Ted Ginn Jr. He's shown at Carolina he can play.
Right.
Yeah, as long as he could catch the damn ball.
Yeah.
So I think gets paid millions, and he was always, couldn't catch the ball.
And the one good thing about Breeze is like the other elite quarterbacks in this league, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, he knows how to spread the ball around.
Yeah, he doesn't need those big name wide receivers.
He doesn't. He makes everybody better.
Right.
Exactly.
And inversely too,
and they got a run game.
I couldn't agree with you anymore though. I mean, it's Breezy all day.
Yeah.
I mean, Dak needs development. He was thrown into the fire last year. You're going to see regression this year. Just sophomore slump call. But also think about it this way. Dallas is now going to be playing all the first-place teams from last year. A lot more difficult, a lot more challenging of the schedule. The defense he's going to be going up against, second to none. I mean, especially second half of the season. So we're going to really see, can this kid read a defense, call the audible, make the adjustment on the fly. I'm a believer, not only because I'm a fan, but I'm a fan of Dak, too, from his college days. I think he has the athletic pedigree. I think he has the intelligence. I think he has the humbleness, which is key. But going into this fantasy football season, it's Drew Brees all day.
Yes, definitely.
Dak will definitely get to that point where he's going to be throwing 4,000, 4,500 yards a year.
He could, definitely. But, I mean, if you got a run game with Zeke, too, you might be handing the ball off to Zeke a lot more as well. So
as long as he can,
as long as he keeps his hands off of women, they'll be fine.
Yeah,
right. Getting back to Sano real quick, I'm not sure if I did state why he was placed on the DL. He has a stress reaction in his left shin, which it's not a stress fracture, it's a reaction. So hopefully he will be back from the DL in the 10-game slate. Is this another setback for Sano, who spent time on the disabled list last season with a hamstring injury and just played 116 games? Sure it is. But, I mean, at this point in the season, I don't think it's hurting his overall numbers too much. But it's a poor time for people trying to get into the fantasy baseball playoffs.
That's for sure. Going to be losing power there.
Absolutely. Going back to the 19th league, and maybe your fantasy team lost Cody Ballinger. He's day-to-day right now. The ankle still holding him out. He's going to be out of tonight's lineup, according to Dave Roberts. Because the Dodgers have so much of a need now, you're talking about Harper and Max being out. Now you got your best power hitter, arguably, and one of your top pitchers out for the Dodgers. So maybe it's a little bit closer than we thought, right? Do the Dodgers take their time with Ballinger and thus piss us off as fantasy baseball owners?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're gonna have no choice. They want this roster to be as healthy as possible come real MLB playoff time. And like I said before, they're looking for a World Series this year. They've bought in. It's their goal. It's their goal for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We'll get to some more injuries on the other side, but more importantly, get to some ad recommendations, some DFS plays to make you put some cash in your pocket, and we'll get back to football with our sleepers to round out our draft coverage. We're going to wrap it up here on Facebook Live. If you like what you're hearing and you want these ads, you want these DFS picks, come join us on YouTube right now. You search a2dradio.com. We're sponsored by Soap Stash. Let's go with Soap Stash again. They are the new soap standard, and they remind you to treat your skin with the best nutrients and feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and great for your skin. Contact Soap Stash today for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. Call them 844-890-3197. Look them up online, soapstash.com. And for specials and to order right through Messenger, look them up on Facebook, Soap Stash LLC. Soap Stash, the new soap standard. You are listening to Fantasy Dominance now, only on a2dradio.com.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, A2D Radio.
SportsAlert.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
Get your skills in shape, then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
and welcome back, or welcome to if you're just joining us here. Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com. Brian Daly, Mike Kleinkoff, Rob Pobia, Doug Pitchford off this week down in South Carolina, checking out the Eclipse yesterday. If you're tuning in, what's up, brother? We miss you. Matt Centuti on the ones and twos, bringing you all the Fantasy Dominance, which is sponsored by Gibson Mayer, LLC, your certified public accountants. Give them a call, schedule an appointment, 215-369-3300. So we're rattling off some baseball injuries going down the line. I'm going to just cap off the list of injuries that I have. One guy that I want to keep an eye on is Drew Pomerantz. You know, I got him in a deal with you, Mikey, and he's helped me out handsomely. But the back's been a problem. It actually caused him to miss a start earlier in the year, and it's reoccurring now. He says he should be fine for his Wednesday start, but that's going to be a situation that you're going to want to continue to monitor. Going back also to Corey Kluber, he twisted his ankle versus the Royals. Now, it's not warranting a DL stint as of the moment, but you're going to want to keep tabs on this Klubot being one of the best pitchers in the game.
Definitely worried. I'm an owner.
Yep. I mean, he already was on the disabled list in May due to back discomfort. I mean, totally unrelated, obviously.
Yeah.
He just turned his ankle a little bit.
Yeah,
but
you could see him, just the way he ran to the first base, kind of looked like he tweaked something. So I hope he's good. You know, the 4 strikeouts didn't cut it for me.
The story of my life.
According to Terry Francona, he said that Kluber will be with no restrictions for a start Wednesday versus Boston. So you've avoided global disaster yet again.
That's fine
there.
with me.
And so did one Doug in our league as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the last guy that I have, Masahiro Tanaka, has been on the DL for a little time now, since actually August 12th due to a shoulder injury. Now, I'm surprised he's pitched so much this year. I mean, he's already up to 133 and 2/3 innings with an elbow that really warranted Tommy John surgery, but he opted for the plasma-rich injections and the pitch through it. This obviously is not an elbow injury. This is the right shoulder inflammation. Are you guys at all concerned in terms of Tanaka's fantasy value moving forward with all these creeping injuries?
Well, I'm going to start with saying that Tanaka is actually starting tonight. He's been reactivated from the 10-day DL as of this morning. I mean, it could. I mean, he's still a good strikeout pitcher. He's still doing his thing. He's just leaving a lot of pitchers in bad positions, and he gets hit, and he's giving up more home runs than anything, but he's still putting up too many runs. So I mean, he's not. I don't think he's going to be a starting pitcher number 1 or 2. I could see him you value him a little bit lower, maybe like a 3 or 4. But I mean, like I said, he's a strikeout pitcher, and he's still striking a lot of guys out, even with these nagging injuries.
Yeah, he's also been getting rocked as well.
I'm not laughing at your comment
No,
whatsoever. It's very spot on, Brian. I'm just laughing at Sixers JT chiming back in the YouTube chat. Going back to when we were talking about LeGarrette Blount, he goes, just got an ESPN alert. Doug Peterson says Blount will be a big part of the offense.
Oh, there we go.
So which is it?
So
More cloak and daggers.
More cloak and daggers.
Thanks for chiming in, Sixers. AL Player of the Week, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Manny Machado sighting.
For real.
The Orioles third baseman earned the award with a .385 batting average last week with 4 homers and 12 ribeye steaks. The NL Player of the Week was Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo. Get this slash line, 429, 484, 750, 13 RBIs. Locking in the NL honors. Now, these are just 2 guys that obviously you're not going to be able to add to replace any of these injured players, but may make interesting DFS plays. We'll get to that later on in the show. In terms of any of these bats that you need to replace some injured stars or maybe just help a struggling squad, who do you guys got for batter recommendations?
I got a couple. I got Eugenio Suarez from the Reds. He's been swinging a pretty good bat as of late, and apparently stole Mikey's guy.
Hey, who we do?
He's
Let me just go home.
He's just batting short of 500. He's got 4 singles, 2 doubles, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, and 5 walks in those 20 at-bats.
Yeah, I mean, he's been red hot. Excuse the pun. But I can't get him in my lineup. I'm actually a Suarez owner in my 16-team Dynasty League, but I got Nolan Arenado. Now, when Nolan Arenado had a 5-game week and Suarez had a 7-game week, I'm okay. This is the time that I can put him in there. Struck out a ton that week and totally let me down. That's the downfall of pretty much any red slugger, whether it be Adam Duvall or Suarez.
Joey Votto.
Well, no, Joey Votto.
Votto's been pretty good. But was he on base twice on base for like 20 straight games or something like that?
Right. Absolutely.
He was on base twice a game for 20-something straight games.
Definitely the on-base percentage is always going to be stellar with talking about what I was talking about in terms of the strikeout rate, I don't think I would put it on par with Suarez or Duvall. But where you're right, Brian, is that in terms of his offensive production, in terms of slugging percentage, in terms of, weighted on-base average, that's okay with him. But ISO has been down. You're seeing this down. Will the Reds try to move Joey Votto this offseason?
Considering the year that he's had, it's probably been the highest value in a while. So, I mean, if you are going to move him, it was like the same thing for Kutch. Kutch was having a, tremendous year, and if you were going to move him, it now would have been the time. But, they kept him, and he's still with the Pirates. So, and it's the same thing for Votto. I think Votto right now is very high valued, and, if they are going to move him, they should move him and get a lot for him. But then again, you could still build around him.
It's a tough call deciding between patience and prudence.
It's your franchise guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Versus making that aggressive trade that's going to make your franchise even better, even though it is the name, the face of the franchise. Did I say franchise enough in that franchise statement?
The franchise.
I mean, Joey Votto's having a great year. Andrew McCutchen's having a great year, and the non-waiver trade deadline has passed. The waiver trade deadline is coming up soon. Doesn't mean these guys aren't going to get moved come December in the winter meeting. So,
right.
I mean, I see Joey Votto getting moved before Andrew McCutchen.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Sticking with the corner infield position, Suarez is a great recommendation. If you're in a deeper league where, a lot of these big names are not available, you're in a 15, 16-team league, guy that you got to look at is Nicky Delmonico out of Chicago White Sox. He's first base, third base, or soon to be first base eligible, third base eligible, obviously a corner infield and outfield eligible. So lots of versatility there. He's 10% owned currently, and over the last 7 days, his bat has continued to stay hot from his fast start, hitting .489 with 4 homers and 5 ribbies. Now, that's the one thing. You're like, only 5 ribbies? Well, look at what lineup he's batting.
You're with the White Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're hitting all solos.
So, I mean, this is a guy that I still think you can add for the rest of the season, not just, a plug and play for this week alone. But, he'll be limited in the RBI count. But, I mean, look at that batting average. Look at that power. Look at that ISO. Definitely a great name.
Well, that's why I like Yonder Alonso again. He's a guy that's just been lights out still. He's batting .500 in his last 5 games, 5 runs, 1 home run, and 7 RBI. He's only 36.5% owned in most ESPN leagues. So, I mean, he's available for you. And if you're struggling at first base and, need a little power, he's with Seattle now. So, to me, I think that benefits him a little more.
Is he their everyday guy over there? Who was their first baseman over there before?
Not 100%, but he has played in the last 5 games.
It was Danny Valencia, wasn't it? Danny Valencia was their first baseman.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he is starting every game. He has been. He's had 4 at-bats every game. So
I mean, I would assume that's why they brought him in. I mean, Yonder Alonso was having a pretty good power year for Oakland before being traded over to Seattle a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Got Greg Milokovich chiming in on Facebook. He's with our poll question. He's going with Darvish. New team was a breath fresh of air to owners. Now this, I get it, but hopefully, like you said, he will be pitching this Sunday for the LA Dodgers. Getting back to what we're talking about here in terms of batter ads, another guy that's also corner infield eligible as well as catcher eligible. That's a nice dual threat.
Okay.
Real deep guy here, real deep guy. John Hicks out of Detroit. Now that they traded Avila to the Cubs. Not flashing breaking news. It's been that way for a while. And they do have James McCann there, so his playing time could be limited. But if you're in a really deep league, it's really amazing that this guy's only 1% owned because over the last 7 days, he's managed to snag 15 at-bats, which is decent for a catcher, with 2 doubles and a .400 batting average. His playing time, like I said, is always in doubt, but he will hold a place for you nicely while you're waiting for whatever catcher you currently have to come back from whatever ailment he's suffering from, or a guy that's been struggling. Like, let's say you were holding out for Wilson Ramos. You had him stashed. He came back. He was spitting hot fire right out of the gate and then went down to like a $117 interstate batting average. Well, he's actually starting to heat up right now, so he might not be a bad ad as well in the catching position. Not in our league, though. I already got him again. but John Hicks, you're in a deep league. I think that's a way you can go.
Yeah. Another guy I like this past week is Nick Markakis. Only 22.5% owned. I like him purely for his batting average. He's not that statistical kind of guy, but 8 for 20 in his last 5 games, 5 runs, 3 RBIs. So pretty solid guy if you're looking for a batting average kind of league. He's batting .286 on the season, so he's still looking pretty good.
Great source for average. Great source for if you have individualized like singles, doubles, triples, or whatever. He's definitely great for all 3 of those type of hits. And the big thing with Markakis that I found, and I found this more in DFS leagues, whenever you're looking up the BVP, which I live by, I'm based on the history. What has he done against this pitcher?
Mm-hmm.
Things change, so I don't solely go by it. But with him, it is an absolute true telltale. Anytime he's had a good BVP and I've started him, 25 points minimum. And that's gorgeous in daily fantasy. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to go with the local boy. You'll like this one. I'm saying now's the time to go grab J.P. Crawford. I really do. Yep. I mean, currently shortstop, middle infielder eligible and only 2% owned. He recently began taking grounders at third and got his first start at the position Sunday at AAA Lehigh, according to Jim Salisbury of CSN Philadelphia. Now, this could be the path that really he takes to be that inevitable September call-up, since Galvis is still with the club. Didn't get traded, obviously, and he's entrenched at that shortstop position. Cal Franco's been struggling. Absolutely struggling all year. Doesn't seem like he's going to come out of it. So I think J.P. Crawford gets called up September 1, and maybe not so much your starting third baseman, but he may play a good majority of the time as he's hit .306 batting average, on base .397, slugging .595 with 11 homers and 173 at-bats since July 1. He's certainly turned himself around. He's healthy. That's the big thing. A lot of people were saying this guy was a false prophet, not a good prospect. He was hurt, and they weren't talking about it. He probably wasn't talking about it because he wanted to get up to the big leagues. These guys are so determined to get to the big leagues. Any nagging injury, brush it right off, know. But I'm just excited about him. I own him in a 16-team dynasty, and I think you should too.
Fair enough.
One. I like that one.
Yeah,
of course you would. Phillies.
Yeah. I mean, next up I got is Eddie Rosario from the Minnesota Twins, swinging a hot bat as of late. 11 out of 32, 7 singles, 3 doubles, 1 home run, 5 RBIs in those 32 at-bats.
Nice. That's solid production.
Very solid production from a guy who I don't think he plays every day, though. I think that's his one downfall. I think he plays center field, and I think that's where Berkston plays. I think he's their everyday outfielder. But, I mean, you want to pick up a guy that's being productive. Eddie Rosario right now, he's one of the more productive guys in the outfield position right now.
I'm actually just looking up his last 10 games real quick, kind of get an idea. I mean, he's had 1 day off in the last 10. I'm seeing 7 at-bats, 5 at-bats, 3 at-bats, 5 at-bats, 9 at-bats. Pretty good. He's up 24% too on ESPN.
Maybe he's not the center fielder that I thought he was.
Maybe an everyday guy or maybe because they're going with the hot hand. Paul Molitor is out there going with the hot hand right now in that normal platoon situation. Now, in case he's owned, you missed that sweepstakes. An outfielder I got for you is Curtis Granderson. Just
the Grandy man.
The Grandy man can, and he's doing it in L.A. now, which is great because I read the story that he hikes up his socks high, as a tribute to Jackie Robinson, and now he actually gets to don the same jersey. Very excited. I mean, he didn't want to leave New York. He was definitely very comfortable with the Mets. And when I say he didn't want to leave New York, I think he was hoping that he'd have a return over to the New York Yankees, which, as we saw, the only good thing that the Mets did in that Subway Series was Granderson hitting home runs in Yankee Stadium because that's what he does.
Yeah.
But, like Mike said, the Granny Man was just hitting stride with the Mets before being claimed off waivers by the Dodgers. He had 5 homers, 11 RBIs, a slugging percentage of .727, and an OPS of 1,035. Plus, he's already come up big with homers for the Dodgers, one in all places where it's all started, and he's still endeared in Detroit, where he began his career, and had a papa slam last night versus your Bucks, Mike. Sorry. Little homer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I see big-time fantasy boost shifting to that lineup. I think that's going to be a huge boost for him. He's still only 23% owned. So, I mean, this is definitely a guy that, you're waiting for Bryce Harper to come back.
Yeah.
Granny, he's available in our leagues. I would go grab him, dude.
No, I'm pretty deep in outfield, too.
Are you?
So, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm pretty solid out there. I'm not even going to lie with Nelson Cruz.
We don't really scramble because we're professionals. You know what I mean?
I got Billy Hamilton, too. That's a guy that you can't, take off your bench because he's going to get you 2 stolen bases.
Yeah.
So.
Valuable.
Yeah. Eric Thames, he's been hitting the bat a little bit better lately. So.
I mean, in our point structure, I made it, stolen base a little bit more valuable to counterbalance that. But if you're in a categories league, very valuable.
Yeah, that's for sure.
No doubt 100%. About it. Any other batter ads before we move on to the pitching side?
Real quick, if
go for it.
You did miss out on Eddie Rosario, go after JBJ, Jackie Bradley Jr. in Boston. He's another one that's swinging a hot bat, just under 500 in his last 17 at-bats. 5 singles, 1 triple, 8 RBIs, 5 walks, and he is barely struck out at all.
Nice, good
2
contact
strikeouts.
rate.
Good, very good contact rate.
Way better than Aaron Judge.
Tell me about it.
I mean, it's unfortunate because JBJ's bread and butter is defense, but defense doesn't count in fantasy baseball. But his offense has been pretty good lately.
Yeah. Aaron Judge has been a headache for me.
Agreed.
He has
it's like, how do you take him out of your lineup?
You can't.
Right?
But it's crazy how you go from batting 330 to like 289 now.
Yeah.
And he striked out, 37 games in a row now? 36.
Record.
Yeah, okay. You did it again. You bastard.
I'm sorry. I got to slow it down. The brain works too fast. That's why I stutter a little bit sometimes. Sorry, folks.
I got that same problem.
Yeah. Hey, it's not a problem. We get the solutions. And if you're looking to get, have a big party, a big event, go contact Liberty Event Rentals for all your party needs. You can look them up online, libertyeventrentals.com, or give them a call, 267-314-7368. Pitchers?
Sure.
Pitchers?
I'm down.
I'm gonna start off with my 2-star pitcher of the week remaining Tuesday through Sunday, and that's Dan Straily. He's at Philadelphia versus San Diego. I'm stealing everybody's thunder. He's 47% owned. Hey, feel free to add in if I miss anything. We'll do a little tandem on this breakdown. In Straley's last 4 starts, he's logged a 3.63 ERA and a 1.16 WHIP. Some owners may have cut ties with him after struggling following his strong first half. That's really bad timing for you all. I feel bad for you, son. The Phillies and Padres are the 2 lowest scoring teams in the majors, and in 3 combined starts versus Philadelphia and San Diego this season, Straily has registered a stellar 3.38 ERA.
Yeah, he's been pretty hot lately, and he's been getting a lot of strikeouts. More the reason why I picked him for just the stream and a 2-start. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, going up against the Phillies lineup that is hot or cold, very streaky, he's definitely a guy we're starting.
Yeah, Philly and then San Diego. So
yeah.
Well, here's the thing to be trepidatious about, though, because both of these offenses are very similar. Offenses that you can normally pick on, but like you said, hot and cold. There's some power in these lineups. Really, you got young kids getting playing time, looking for something to prove, looking to be that starter next year. Certainly with the Phillies, a little bit too with the San Diego Padres. Trying to think of that one outfielder kid. He's just, a pure athletic specimen. I'll look him up here in a little bit as you guys give more picks.
The only thing I don't like about Straily tonight is you might not get that win because there's a better pitcher on the mound for the other team, and that's Aaron Nola tonight.
Oh, yeah, good point.
I mean,
I didn't look at that side.
Yeah, fantasy-wise, DFS-wise, he's a pretty solid, definitely daily fantasy. I mean, I think Straily is going to be a nice pick, but he is going up against one of the league's best and hottest pitchers, and that's Nola. So
Right.
he might not get you to W.
Right. So, hey, I think you're in a points league, you're starting them both. Right.
Yeah.
If you're in a category league, and it's daily, maybe I'd sit him tonight in that pitching matchup versus Nola, and then certainly against the Padres. But beware, because the guy I was thinking about, Jabari Blash, fine athletic specimen, like I said, absolutely great power. Not too great of a batting average at 220, but I mean, we're talking about, the guy's 28, but he is new to the league.
I mean, and Will Myers is there too, so it's another guy that's got a little pop.
Yeah, Manuel Margot, Will Myers, like you said, it's not a bad lineup that can really surprise some matchups, but I think, I don't know, these matchups are pretty nice.
Yeah, for sure. I like it. And that's why I wrote it down. So,
Any other pitchers we should be starting? We should be plug and play, stream, maybe add for the long term.
Patrick Corbin. I think, nice matchup against the Mets tonight. I'm sorry to pick on them, but you always pick on me with my Bucks. So
turnabout's fair play.
So today, today I like him. His last 3 starts have been pretty solid. He had 25 strikeouts, only 4 walks, 3 earned runs in the last, 3 starts, and the 3 earned runs was actually against San Francisco, not the Cubs or Houston.
Right.
So, he's been up against 2 dominant teams, and the Mets are a team that strikes out a lot, and I could see that being a nice play tonight. And then he goes back and plays San Francisco the next game.
Ooh.
So I like the 2 start there.
Yeah, no, that's juicy too. And hey, pick away, man. I mean, look, you guys still have a shot at the playoffs. We kissed that goodbye.
Yeah.
So I'll call it that like it is.
Yeah.
I know I bust your balls a lot, but hey, it's because I'm jealous.
If it makes you feel any better, we
sad.
kissed the playoffs goodbye in spring training.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, after April was over.
Not even.
I gave you guys the first month. I mean, come on.
January, I was, I mean, I knew that they weren't going to be a playoff team anyway.
Come
but
on.
I still thought they
you
were
guys
gonna
look
get
great
81
with
wins.
Michael Saunders.
Yeah, right. He went back to Toronto.
Did he go back to Toronto?
He did. He went back to Toronto
I
on
thought he
minor league
designated,
deal. I don't know if
yeah.
he's still there. But speaking of the Blue Jays,
2-start
pitcher this week who's actually been pretty good since coming out of the bullpen as a starter is Chris Rowley. In his last 2 starts, he went 10 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, 6 Ks. Gives up a few walks here and there, but Chris Rowley's been pretty solid out of the Blue Jays bullpen in a spot start situation with the Blue Jays. Also, Charlie Morton in his last 3 starts has been pretty good. 18 innings, 17 hits, 7 runs, 22 Ks, 8 walks.
I like it.
Been pretty good.
I like it. I like it a lot. Time to pick on the Pirates a little bit more.
Oh, come on.
I don't mean to, but these are good matchups.
You're doing this shit on purpose now.
I think I am. But we talked about Yu Darvish missing tonight's start, part of his 10-day DL stint. Well, who's taking his place tonight is Brock Stewart at Pittsburgh, less than 1% owned.
I had him.
Nice. He's pitched pretty darn well in AAA. 2.03 ERA, 20 to 2 K to walk ratio in 4 starts, and that's 13 innings, so 20 Ks in 13 innings. Now, he's had a few spot starts this year, and he's been touched up a little bit. I mean, you step up to the bigs, you realize these guys can make adjustments on the fly, not like some of the batters you're facing in the minor leagues, but he's got a good pedigree. He's the most likely to make the spot start. I'm not sure if it's official as of the because I looked this up yesterday, but he is scheduled to scheduled to return the 27th. So this will be that's a very crowded rotation there in LA. And one more, if by chance he's still available in your league, Luis Castillo versus the Pirates on Saturday. He's 68% owned. Just absolute great swinging strike rate. Does walk a little bit more than I like, but you just gotta like that arm, and in a matchup that I think he can handle. I'm not saying that the Pirates are lows of the lows, but they're about 14, 15 rank offense this year.
Yeah, I mean they haven't been hitting the bat. I mean, they did hit 3 solo shots last night. Jay Hay, I think Ozuna, and maybe Bell. I forget who the third one was, but I mean, the bat is there. It's just the pitching at the end. Like, first off, the worst trade they ever made this season was getting Benoit from the Phillies. I don't know what the hell they were thinking there, because he's been awful.
He was awful with the Phillies.
I don't know why they did it. And as soon as I saw the name, I was like, Jesus Christ, why are you going to hurt our bullpen? I would, rather keep the guy that we traded for him. And he's lost already like 3 games with us, by the way. But what were you going to say?
Oh, just really quickly, though. I mean, why I picked these 2 pitchers, because I looked at that. 536 runs on the season, good for 24th in Major League Baseball. 248 batting average. I love the on-base, though, 323. So they definitely get on base well. The slugging, 394. That's what's been down. So starting pitchers against these guys, they're going to get on base. He's going to give up hits. Especially Luis Castillo could give up some walks, too, because they're very patient batters.
Yeah.
But I just don't see a lot of pop unless you got, McCutchen on that hot string.
Yeah.
Polanco's been hit or miss this year.
And Polanco's another guy on the DL as well.
Right.
So he's out with, I believe, a hamstring.
Right.
So, I mean, and Josh Bell, I mean, if the other rookies weren't as good as they were this year, I think you might even put Josh Bell in a NL Rookie of the Year kind of conversation. But he's having a great year. I think he's almost up to 25 home runs so far. So
nice.
Yeah. But one more. I know we got to cut the break. But
no,
real quick,
I was about to ask if you had more.
Tyson Ross. He does go up against, and you just showed me the numbers there. L.A. was right under the Pirates for runs scored. He does go up against him, and I like the matchup because he's going up against Ricky Nolasco, who is a very, very shaky pitcher. And I'm going to let that ride into the next segment.
Oh.
But then again, he is also, going up against Oakland with, their offense is shaky. They strike out a lot, too. Don't let the 7.02 ERA scare you.
Look at this guy. Teasing, man. You're a radio professional now.
I try.
Yeah.
I try. Let's just say that.
Well, let us remind the viewers of our sponsor, our station sponsor, talking about professionalism, none better than at the BMW of Atlantic City dealership. And this month, they challenge its sales team. They must sell 100 vehicles, which means one thing, guys. You save. Right now, lease a certified pre-owned elite 2016 BMW 320i with xDrive. Just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience is much closer than you think. BMW of Atlantic City, easy to get to. Minutes off of exit 37 on the Garden State Parkway. Or check them out online, BMWAtlanticCity.com. On the other side, we got your DFS picks for Tuesday, August 22nd. And then we got some sleeper picks in case you haven't drafted yet for fantasy football. This is Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
Do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
Welcome back to today's Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com, being brought to you by the Soap Stash. They are the new soap standard. Brian Daly, Mike Kleinkoff, Rob Hovia, Matt Sensudi on the ones and twos, bringing you all the dominance. And if you want in on the dominance, there's a couple ways to do that. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You search A2DRadio.com. If you got specific fantasy questions, we're here at your disposal. No waiting. Hashtag it. Ask FDN. We were given our ad, for league play, who you can add, who you can stream in your fantasy baseball leagues. Let's move on to a little DFS. That seems to be more popular these days.
Of course it is.
I still like the league play, but there is more money to be had in DFS. Let's face facts.
Well, because it's every day.
Yeah, buddy. Especially with baseball.
Yeah, oh my God. I'm sorry. I keep bashing baseball, but I'm going to keep doing it. I'm just so tired of it.
Don't make me cock an elbow. Ooh. No, I hear you. But
it's such a long season.
It's a man's game.
Oh, my God.
But I do enjoy DFS for football better. And,
oh, yeah.
And we'll once football season's in full swing. There are preseason DFSs. Maybe that's something we need to consider.
I did try. I scored 5.7 points.
Total?
Yes.
Wow. It's so tough who's going to play. You know what I mean?
It was like the first week, and I was like, let me go with all these backups, and none of the backups played.
You got to hit me up, dude. I got some insider information for you. Trust me.
Like,
and for you, too. Hit us up.
Yeah,
I won't be
never
be
messing with preseason again.
But we are talking DFS MLB plays today, and we'll start with our buy low pitcher. I'm not going to go first because I seem to be stealing everybody's thunder, so Mikey.
I'm going Lance Lynn tonight for San Diego.
I was looking at that.
For DraftKings tonight, he's only 7,400. So I like the strikeout rate that obviously we bash on San Diego a lot, and we did the last segment, and we're going to keep doing it. Yeah, San Diego strikes out a lot. So Lance Lynn for St. Louis, and St. Louis has been a pretty hot team lately. You know, they've been catching up in the NL Central race. So watch them and watch him tonight. I think Lance Lynn could get, you know, some quality points for especially his value at 7,400.
Ironically, that's who I had here at first in my notes.
Kidding.
I did have Lance Lynn, but no, I went a different direction.
Okay.
I went a different direction. Brio.
I'm going to go with John Lackey against the Cincinnati Reds. I almost said St. Louis. John Lackey's been, you know, he's having a really tough season so far. 10-9 with a 4.67 ERA. Definitely not the guy that we know him. Well, I don't know if I love him, but some people might.
Maybe some Red Sox fans still holding on to the past.
Still, maybe. He's due for a good start, though. He's going up against Homer Bailey.
There you go. That's all you need to say.
Yeah.
Period. Guaranteed win.
Yeah.
Done.
I hope so. I'm sorry.
Next.
League.
I mean, there's some guys in this lineup that do hit him well. Zach Cozart, but he's been hitting everybody well this year.
He's also been hurt. I'm a fantasy owner of him. And
my buy low hitter's been hitting him pretty well, or has hit him over his career pretty well, too. We'll get to that in a second. Nope.
Oh, okay. Okay, but yeah, I mean, he's due for a good start. He really is. Like, I mean, I get he's a little up there in age. He still has 115 strikeouts on the year. I think he's going to see that climb a little bit tonight. I'm going to say he's going to probably have around 7 strikeouts tonight against Cincinnati.
And that's good value at the price. That's very good value at the price. I think the best value, though, and like I said, I was thinking Lance Lynn, but I'm going Danny Duffy versus Colorado. I know that's a tough lineup to go against, but I'll get into my reasons why here in a second. He's only 8,100 in FanDuel, and looking over the BVP numbers, you know, not a lot of exposure here. The most at-bats you have DJ LeMahieu is 1 for 6 lifetime. Jonathan Lucroy is 2 for 6 lifetime. So nobody really has hit him very hard over the course of their careers. And just looking at the Rockies as a whole, they have the lowest ISO on the road and the 7th highest K percentage rate on the season as well. When they're away from Colorado is a time where I think you can start pitchers against them. Duffy has at least 8 Ks in his last 3 starts and has a 3.20 ERA and a 1.11 WHIP in 16 interleague games. Yeah, deep stat. That's what
this is a deep stat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So, yeah, I think for 8,100, you know, FanDuel being your lone pitcher, that'll definitely be able to allow you to afford there's a lot of good selections of bats tonight, so that'll free up some cash there. What's he on DK? Do you have that?
Who are we looking for?
Danny Duffy?
I'll have to look that up. Take your time. Give me a minute.
Take your time. You know what? I referred to him before just because it had to do with what Brian said. My buy low hitter, nice value play tonight is Scott Scheibler.
That's who I was going to guess second, but.
He's only 2,700 on FanDuel going against the aforementioned John Lackey, and his BVP numbers are 4 for 13 lifetime with a triple, a homer, 2 ribbies, a walk, and only 1 K, so that's good for a 308 batting average. 13 at-bats is a decent sample size to go about, and I really think can allow you to really afford, other, big bats in the outfield that there are plenty tonight. So, I mean, you look at his overall numbers for the season. I mean, he's got, on-base percentage of 312, a slugging percentage of 482. Guy's been getting it done this season, 23 homers on the season. Only 46 ribbies, but I think that's another thing similar to Nicky Delmonico where, nobody's getting on base with regularity around him on the cellar dweller Cincinnati Reds.
Real quick, Duffy is 7,600 on DraftKings.
Yeah, yes. So even better value there. And you always see a little bit less of a value on DK in terms of price.
Well,
usually.
yeah, and you got to think, too, DraftKings does have 2 pitchers.
Right.
Instead of the single one like FanDuel does.
Right. I need to start playing DraftKings more for that fact. That fact alone. That way.
Don't do it to yourself.
Don't. Stick with FanDuel. Well, I just like it that, you can put all your stock. You start like a Jacob deGrom, who's been having a, lights out season. And then, like the last 2 starts against the Yankees and Miami got rocked, So, in FanDuel, it's like, oh, well, there goes my chances of cashing, But with DK, if that happens to you with your SP1, you still got the SP2 to back you up.
Exactly.
Yes. So, buy low hitters, gentlemen. Who's your value play on the offensive side of the ball?
It's a tough one. But I'm going to take a chance, and he's very, very cheap. Very cheap because he's having one of his worst years of his career, but he's going up against Toronto, and I could see Tampa Bay lighten up the bases a little bit. I'm going to go Brad Miller. Only 2,200 on DraftKings right now, so... And he's still been their like everyday starter, and he's only batting like 202 or something like that. It's been horrible, but sometimes you got to take the chance, and if he could get you at least 8 points, he'll be pretty solid.
Beauty about Daly, I don't care what's his batting average. What's he going to do tonight?
Yeah.
How's he going to get me into the thousands from the hundreds?
Exactly.
Or just cashing in
Sorry,
general.
2,700, not 2,200.
You know how you do that? You go out and you get Ryan Braun versus Jeff Samardzija and the San Francisco Giants tonight. 14 at-bats. He has 7 hits, 2 of them home runs, racked up 7 RBIs against Jeff Samardzija in his career so far.
Yeah. And, I mean, Ryan Braun, not a big strikeout victim on the U's. I mean, the rest of that Brewers lineup, I think, is going to get K'd. Like I could see Samardzija having maybe 8 to 10 Ks tonight. He might not be a bad value play either. But when it comes to Ryan Braun, I think that's a guy that could really touch him up. And let's face facts, the Shark has been touched up this year when he's not striking people out.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and Ryan Braun's been having a little bit of a rough season. Can't stay healthy. But his numbers against Jeff Samardzija are good, and I think he's going to be a great value play for tonight.
Nice. Well done. All right, boys, who are you stacking tonight?
I'm stacking the Texas Rangers versus Ricky Nolasco.
I mean, hey, the Rangers lineup on a whole has been sputtering up and down, but that's a nice matchup against Nolasco.
I'm not really a fan of Nolasco. He can strike you out. He's had some pretty solid games this season, but overall, it doesn't look so good for him. So I'm going to pick on him tonight with probably going with Rugged Odor, or as we like to call him, Rugged Odor. He's 4,600. He's actually gone up a lot because he's been lights out lately. He's had a couple multi-home run hit games. I'm also going to go Adrian Beltre and Mazzara. Mazzara is the most expensive at 5,100. So, yeah, it's pretty pricey tag here, but 14,600 on DraftKings. But I just like the matchup overall. I think they could probably go up 7 runs on him tonight.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely. Bryo?
I'm going to get you a little redemption here, Mikey.
Yay.
I'm stacking Arizona against Tommy Milone and the New York Mets. Tommy Milone.
That's good.
With an ERA of 7.91.
Taking Matt's spot tonight, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, terrible. This Arizona lineup is just so good. You can probably pick anybody out of this lineup and be solid. But I'm going to say stack Paul Goldschmidt, who's probably going to be fairly expensive. Jeff Mathis. Maybe throw in a David Peralta. Gregor Blanco. I think you'd be good with any of those guys. Anybody in this lineup. Arizona has one of the best lineups in baseball, in my opinion.
Apparently you get one of our value plays and then just play the Arizona lineup.
Yes.
Pretty much.
That's it.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have one argument there for that, though. And you guys mentioned it before. Homer, Bailey. I think you got to stack the Cubs lineup tonight. I think that's a winner, in my opinion. I mean, lefties, righties, it don't matter. You can rock Bailey.
Everybody's hitting. Everybody gets a hit.
Everybody gets a hit. Well, just to give you some numbers to back that up, Bailey on the season has a 457 weighted on-base average versus lefties, and righties is still at 389. Yeah, so he's not getting lefties or righties out with regularity, getting them on base. Guys you want to target that have the best BVP numbers, Anthony Rizzo. We talked about him as NL Player of the Week, 4,500 on FanDuel. Kyle Schwarber, 3,500 on FanDuel, has a 1.117 OPS in his career versus Cincy. And John Jay, if he's starting, definitely 2,600. That's not a bad value as well if you're talking about value plays for hitters. Just to get in the specific numbers, John Jay is 9 for 30 lifetime against Homer Bailey. Multiple extra base hits and only one strikeout in those 30 at bats. Rizzo is 8 for 21 with 2 bombs, 6 ribeye steaks. Kyle Schwarber only had 1 at bat against him, but it went for a hit and 2 walks. So I mean, he's pretty batting 100 against them. So
hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. So assuming he's in the lineup too or whatnot, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with any crop of, you want to go Chris Bryant if you can afford Bryant and Rizzo together. I think that would kind of strap you for balance throughout your lineup. But if you can swing it, that's not a bad stack right there.
No, I like it. I'm with you.
Sneaky stack though, real sneaky stack, and I always seem to go with the Braves. Did I do it again?
No.
Oh, good.
I'm just messing with you.
You bastard. The Braves versus Marco Gonzalez is Seattle. There's no real BVP to go against, but Marco Gonzalez is dog shit. And the Braves, at home, where, you flick the wrist and the ball's out of there. I think that's a nice stack as well. Maybe you do a couple hedge stack lineups, just to, maybe stack some Cubs, you stack some Rangers, stack some Arizona Diamondbacks against my pitiful Mets.
Go
it's
for
not
the
even
lamb
that.
steak,
It's not even
baby.
necessarily that the Mets are pitiful. It's just the fact that Tommy Malone is pitiful.
Truth.
Yeah.
Truth.
Go for the lamb steak.
All right, so we're talking about a lot of guys that we want to play tonight. Who are you fading tonight? Who are you staying away from?
I got a guy.
Go for it.
I got Carlos Carrasco against Boston. And purely one because he's the second highest pitcher in DraftKings at 11,700. And to me, I mean, he's having a great year. Lights out. I've been trying to trade for him in all my, yearly fantasy leagues and all that stuff, and, could never get a hold of him. But anyway, the last time he pitched against Boston, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, he got minus 9.7 points. I don't think he'll match the minus again, but I don't think he's going to go too far above, maybe 8. Yeah. I can't see him having a good start against Boston. Boston's been playing pretty good lately. And they might be a team that you might want to throw in a couple guys like Mookie and Benintendi or something like that against Carlos there. But, yeah, purely just because of his value, I don't think he's going to match his value at all.
Right. Nah, agreed.
Well, my fade originally was Tommy Malone.
Yeah. Well, I hope that everybody out there is pretty smart.
Well, right, and that's kind of what my mindset over the last couple of minutes was, well, maybe people are smart and he's not on anybody's lineup or even on anybody's fantasy radar, period. So, with that being said, I went out and I found a new one.
Ooh.
So, my new fade of the night is Tanner Roark going up against the Houston Astros tonight.
Okay.
Most of the guys that have seen Tanner Roark already, Jose Altuve, Carlos Beltran, Josh Reddick, George Springer, all have very good numbers against them. Carlos Beltran is the only one that has actually tagged him for a home run. So I definitely see Tanner Roark get knocked around a little bit against this very good Houston Astros team.
Yeah.
So let's try and avoid him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's another one you could potentially stack against, but again, I'd stay away from Tanner Roark tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, the only thing with the Astros lineup, it's been kind of hit or miss over the past 2 or 3 weeks, in terms of reliability. I mean, is it one of the better lineups in baseball? Sure.
Definitely, yeah.
But they're coasting right now, let's face facts. I mean, Springer coming back from the quad injury has been okay, but not certainly his great self in the earlier part of the season, and I think they're just taking it very gingerly with him. Alex Bregman, there was no hotter batter over the, let's say, maybe the better half of August towards the tail end of July. He's kind of cooled off a little bit too, and I think the two have something to do together because Bregman was hitting higher in the lineup with Springer out. He gets dropped back down, not as much protection there, not seeing as many fastballs. So I mean, I think with Roark, that's a guy that, people might want to get crafty with because of all of these reasons. But at any point, they can be like the Viper and just strike you RKO out of nowhere. And Roark, let's face facts, he's not been as great as he was last year.
No, he definitely hasn't been, and I think that's part of the reason why I would stay away from him is you never know when that Houston Astros team is actually going to show up.
Right. Truth. My fade of the night, and you can call me crazy.
I want to hear it first before I call you crazy.
You're crazy. Sorry, I missed the cue there.
Chris Archer versus Toronto. He's 10,200 on FanDuel, 12,400 on DK, which is astronomical.
Highest paid, or highest valued pitcher right now on DK tonight.
Right. And a lot of people are going to go for that. They're going to be like, let me just lock up my SP1, top pitcher on the slate. Obviously going to be chalky as fuck due to dominating the Blue Jays all season. He's 4-0 against them with 34 Ks in 28 innings over those 4 starts. He also has a 12.1 K per 9 rate at home this season, and the Blue Jays have the 4th worst weighted on-base average over the last 7 days. The numbers say yes, but the price says no. He's going to limit what bats you can get. You're going to have Archer, and then you're going to have a team of Scott Schiblers, which, was a value play of mine. But, I mean, you want to get some elite guys in there, too, especially on a night where, like I said, there's a lot of quality bats to be had at a decent price. So, between that on how much it's going to limit my lineup, as well as a lot of people owning them in GP, maybe in cash games. In cash games, I would not fade Chris Archer. But in GPPs, I just see it being everybody's going to have them, and it's not going to give me a distinct advantage. I think there's other pitchers you can go with.
I'm with you.
So I'm not crazy.
No, I mean,
I don't
definitely,
think you're crazy at all.
But those numbers, though, I mean,
the numbers,
tough.
like you said, the numbers look excellent. It's hard to say no to that. But, again, DraftKings, he's probably going to be very highly owned, even despite his 12,400 value.
Right.
But, that's the thing, too. That's a big chunk of your salary.
Yeah.
For one guy that, he's having a great year, but he could have a bad game.
Listen, it's a very enticing matchup. It really is. Archer versus a Toronto Blue Jays team that's hurt. No Josh Donaldson. No Troy Tulowitzki. You're moving Jose Bautista over to third base, which is really weird to me, but...
Yeah.
It's
a
Toronto
Donaldson's
Blue
back though.
Then why would they be putting him at third base? Maybe they're putting Donaldson in the DH then?
They might be. I'm pretty sure Donaldson is back. I remember seeing him hit a home run recently. Unless he's out again. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
I'll look it up.
No, I mean...
I'm not a Donaldson owner.
No, neither am I. More the reason why I'm not 100% sure. But I'm pretty sure that he is back. So
yeah, I mean, I remember just a few weeks ago he was actually finally starting to put the bat on the ball and being like his elite former self.
Yeah.
Currently, right now, I mean, he is back in the lineups. No, they've been deploying Donaldson at shortstop.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we have an opposite of A-Rod here?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, they have been hurting for shortstop play, so, I mean, it makes sense. It makes for a better offensive lineup, certainly.
Well, then that makes a little bit more sense on why they're putting Bautista over a third.
Yeah.
Right. God bless you, Internet. Thank you. Didn't know that. Now we all do.
No, we all do, yeah.
Knowledge is power. All right, so enough of my bullshit. Let's go on to the lock of the night. He was a guy that needs to be in every lineup, everywhere, and then maybe I'll wrap up the segment with a few weather details.
Aaron Nola against Miami Marlins tonight is a lock. Well, this afternoon.
Lock it up.
Lock it up.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. Value is 11,400 for DraftKings. He's the 3rd highest.
Yep.
But
he's also one of the hottest pitchers in baseball right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I do like him a lot there. I'm going to go a little bit cheaper on mine. I have 2 guys, and one of them I mentioned as my streamers. Patrick Corbin against the Mets tonight. Only 9,400. So I like that matchup a lot. And also, I might even just pair these 2. Jimmy Nelson versus San Francisco. He's 11,000 tonight. But San Francisco is a team that's pretty much just everybody's getting injured. Basically, they all have concussions. So Yeah, that's another team that, the bats just aren't there this season. It's, so more the reason why I'm going Jimmy Nelson. I can see him getting 6 or 7 Ks tonight.
Sure, absolutely. And to your point about Patrick Corbin, too, talking about a Mets team that's now traded away 5 of the regular starters to start the season. Now, I mean, you got upstart guys like Ahmed Rosario and Dominic Smith, but they're just trying to feel their way right now in the major league level. So, yeah, Corbin, after a midseason swoon, as, you could expect, maybe a dead arm period coming back from the Tommy John. He's looked pretty sharp as of late.
Yeah, definitely. He's one of the hottest in the game right now, so.
Definitely. I'm going to go back to, the American League player. I worked both the net. That's why I read that off earlier in the show. NL and AL players, I'm telling you to play Anthony Rizzo in a stack. I'm also telling you to play Manny Machado rather than Chris Bryant at third. He's only 4,000 on FanDuel, which I was surprised that not that that's a low figure.
No, he's been rocking like 32 lately, so he's jumped up a lot.
Yeah, so it's jumped up a lot, but if you look at the highest per the position, I believe was 5,400. So, you're saving 1,400 there. He's going against Paul Blackburn and the Oakland Athletics, where in the past he's 2 for 3. Not a deep sample size for his BVP, but that includes 1 double and 0 strikeouts against Paul Blackburn, who's been very much struggling lately. And like I said before, red hot, finally. Plus, the Orioles have the highest running expectancy, according to Vegas, at 5.9 runs. So that might even be stack-worthy, too. The Orioles lineup. That might be a consideration, but I think you definitely target on Manny Machado tonight.
Yeah, definitely. He's one of the hottest players in baseball right now, coming off a weekend where he hit 3 home runs in one game. Come on now.
Yeah, with a walk-off grand slam.
Yeah.
My only concern, Rob, is that he is the highest third baseman for tonight's slate for
DK?
For DK.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going based on FanDuel.
5,500 tonight, which puts him obviously above everybody, but just names like Freeman, Bryant, Arenado, Beltre. So maybe not on DraftKings. Play him on FanDuel.
Yeah, there you go, and that's good that we differentiate between the sites.
That's a $1,500 difference. I mean, obviously salaries are different on the two, between FanDuel and DraftKings, but that's very expensive, and I know he's not the top third baseman in FanDuel.
It's all right. I'm saving money with her value plays. I can afford them.
Mm-hmm.
May not be the smartest play, but I can afford them. No, I think it's a good lock, though. Quick weather updates before we go pay some bills. Right now we're looking at possible weather delay or rain out in Pittsburgh. So, that Brock pick that I did before, maybe you might want to hold off on that until you get a little bit more of a wet idea leading to the 7:05 p.m. start there. Also, Boston at Cleveland, 45% chance of rain with a possible rain out. You got 28% chance of rain. I feel like a weatherman here, but this is important, though, especially if you don't have, being able to swap late. Chicago at Cincinnati, 28% chance of rain. And, basically just to be specific about that Dodgers at Pirates, the storms are expected throughout the day and evening, so maybe we avoid that game altogether. The Red Sox and Indians will have late afternoon showers that appear for now to clear out around first pitch. The Cubs and Reds will have some sporadic storms during the evening that we will also need to monitor. And Yankees at Tigers has afternoon storms that should clear out before first pitch.
Like it.
Yeah. Hey, good to consider. All this weather updates being brought to you by the Soap Stash. I don't know how. Well, yeah, you go out in a rain shower, you need a little bar of soap, take care of your skin.
That's usually what I do
right?
when it rains outside. I go outside and get my first shower for the week. And
maybe if you're down on LBI, a little outdoor shower,
Mm-hmm.
No, you're strutting it for the ladies. I know your style.
Oh, yeah. My one lady.
That's right. Absolutely. All right, so contact Soap Stash today and get your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. Give them a call, 844-890-3197. Look them up online, soapstash.com, for specials, ordering information, and order right through Messenger. No better way, no easier way. Get it, your bars of soap, shampoos, now including CBD oils in all their products, which is great for anxiety, great for depression. Natural fragrances, great for your kids, everywhere. Contact Soap Stash today. Messenger, You can order and get it on your doorstep in 2 to 3 days max. We still got one more segment left for you guys. A little fantasy football talk. We're wrapping up our draft coverage with sleepers. This is Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet. Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
And welcome back to today's Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com. Brian Daly, Mike Kleinkoff, Rob Hovia, Matt Tsutsudi on the ones and twos. And apparently, I think Matt Tsutsudi is a closet R&B fan because he always plays his bed every show he produces of mine. I just let your secret out, Maddie. You don't care. He's all metal all day. Let's face facts. Thank you for joining us. If you're just joining us, where the hell you been, man? You missed a lot. We covered MLB injuries, specifically Max Scherzer and Yu Darvish. What's their outlook? When will they get back into your fantasy baseball lineups? In the meantime, we gave you some ad recommendations for both the hitter side as well as the pitcher side, and we gave you our DFS plays. The good news is you can stick with us live, catch some fantasy football sleepers for your draft, which we're about to hit up, and then go back and watch us from the beginning. As always, hit us up with your fantasy questions, no matter what sport. Hashtag it, AskFDN, comment on Facebook. We'll get to the questions if we have time on the show, but if not, we'll hit you up later. Get you ready to dominate in all things fantasy sports. And this last segment is being brought to you by the Sports Outlet. For all your sporting needs, go visit them 703 Black Horse Pike, Glendora, New Jersey. You can look at all their selection of products on sportsoutletinc.com. Or if you got a specific question, give them a call, 856-939-2030. So, boys, just as a quick lead-in, we talked about it in the beginning of the show, Anquan Boldin leaving the Bills camp and retiring after a 14-year NFL career. This is definitely going to leave a big void, not only for the Buffalo Bills, but for maybe teams that already drafted and were taking a shot on Anquan being a good possession receiver in PPR leagues, now that Sammy Watkins is in Los Angeles. But just 2 weeks after signing a one-year deal with the Buffalo Bills, the receiver Anquan Boldin is now set to retire. Any impressions, any opinion on this?
I'm kind of surprised, but like we said before, that clearly Buffalo is such a bad team that he's like, you know what, this is not even worth it. I mean, he said that, he wants to be with his family more and stuff and realized that family is before football now.
Yeah.
So
I actually got his full release here via Jim Trotter at @JimTrotter_NFL. Football in its purest form is what we all strive for as a nation. People from all different races, religions, and backgrounds working together for one shared goal. The core values taught in football are some of the most important you can learn in life. To always be there for the guy next to you and not let your fellow man down. You do whatever it takes to make sure your brother is okay. Football has afforded me a platform throughout my career to have a greater impact on my humanitarian work. At this time, I feel drawn to make the larger fight for human rights as a priority. My life's purpose is bigger than football. So that's interesting. I mean, really reaching for a higher purpose. I mean, I have a little bit more respect. I think some of it, too, has to be with wasn't having very good camp in those 2 weeks. And was getting outperformed on the daily by one Zay Jones. And that's where I'm going to start off my sleeper list with is Zay Jones. He's a guy that I drafted even before knowing this information because I think he's going to be the Bills' clear-cut number one. And you can say whatever you want about Tyrod Taylor, whether you like him, whether you dislike him, I will take a number one receiver all day. All day, especially in PPR leagues. And, Tyrod does have a decent arm. He can throw the ball downfield, and Zay Jones is a guy that can go out and get it.
Yeah. No, I'm right with you. He's a guy that I wrote down as well, and especially with Anquan Boldin retiring, it only benefits him even more. But, yeah, definitely he's got to be their clear-cut number one. I don't know who else would even take that position because Zay Jones, they drafted him for that reason.
Jordan Matthews?
You could argue Jordan Matthews.
I forgot that he's there now.
Yeah.
But he's already got a chip sternum and it might be missing time. So, I mean, but still, even so, it's going to open him up. So, I like Zay Jones. And like you said about Tyrod, everybody bashes on him, but where is he at the end of every fantasy season?
Yeah.
He's usually like top 10, top 15 in quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So, because he's got the ability to run and throw. So
absolutely. Zay Jones, 6'2", 200 pounds. Out of East Carolina, drafted, very quietly in round 2 by the Buffalo Bills. So, I mean, definitely a high prospect. And, yeah, I mean, I think he's a clear number one. I think he's going to be primarily playing on the outside, which certainly would help for touchdown production. And definitely a very, very good sleeper. Again, I want to cater to you guys' list as well. Maybe we can go back and forth on these sleepers so I don't steal anybody's thunder.
That's fine. Brian, go ahead. if you would like.
I can go first.
We're so polite.
That's right.
We're missing Doug. That's why we're so polite.
Right. I think one of the biggest sleepers coming out of this year is going to be Nelson Aguilar. Believe it or not, he's been having a really good camp. I mean, another year under Carson Wentz, and I'm sure Carson's worked with him and pulled him aside and all this, and worked with him. The new wide receiver coach that they have probably has helped Nelson kind of mold into a bit of a better receiver. His biggest thing, though, and keeping him from really becoming a real fantasy value is he's got to lose the fear of taking a hit.
Yeah.
That's his biggest thing. I think that's why he drops the ball all the time. But he had a really good camp. Apparently, he didn't drop any passes through camp. I haven't gotten a chance to see him in any game situations yet to judge otherwise.
I hear he's been having a pretty good camp, though.
Yeah, I've heard the same as well.
Yeah, so that's why I think he's going to be a sleeper this year.
Yeah, he could very well be. If he could get over 2 touchdowns, I think he'd hit value.
You just got to stop hearing the footsteps.
I think that's his biggest thing is hearing those footsteps and being afraid to take the hit.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, he could be one of those bigger busts too. This is, I think, his 3rd season. He was drafted 1st overall, if I'm not mistaken, out of USC, right?
I believe he was
19th, I want to say. Don't judge me on my Eagles history because I don't give 2 shits.
As a Steelers fan,
but pretty sure it was around that time. But to go with another sleeper, and I don't like to say it because he's now with the Baltimore Ravens, but that's Jeremy Maclin. I think Jeremy Maclin is going to have a pretty solid season working with Joe Flacco. And last year, Baltimore did not run the ball a lot. They're one of the highest percentage throwing per plays out of any team. So I think this could only benefit Maclin. And I actually drafted him as well in one of my drafts in like the 10th round or something like that. So he's falling. So
you were spot on accurate. This will be his 3rd season, and he was drafted 1st round, 20th overall.
20th. Damn, I said 19. That was pretty close, man. That was pretty close.
2015.
Jumping back to Maclin real quick, I actually put very much thought into putting him onto my list, but I wasn't sure if he would be considered a sleeper because he's had breakout years. He's had good fantasy years where he's shown a lot of value.
Yeah.
I know his injuries hasn't really helped his value lately. And going to Baltimore, I thought that maybe playing with Joe Flacco takes away his sleeper value because I believe he will be the number 1 there.
Him or Mike Wallace.
Yeah.
So I just think personally he's probably on I like him better there. To be honest, like I said, they pass a hell of a lot more.
Well, allow me to educate a little bit. A sleeper doesn't have to be an unknown guy. A sleeper can be a guy that people are just sleeping on. You know what I mean? That a guy that's done it in this league and they're thinking, that Baltimore offense is going to be shit. Flacco's heading into the season banged up. But, again, clear number 1, no?
Could very well be.
Yeah?
I thought so. That's kind of why I left him off my list is because I didn't see him as a sleeper. I thought he was going to show that, he still got it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, this guy that I'm about to mention, too, I'll stick with the wide receivers. I like this trend here. And we'll get to other positions, folks. Absolutely.
Well, that's all I have. It's the only players that I found that I could be sleeper worthy were wide receivers.
Hey, that's what you need, though.
Yeah.
Wide receivers usually a deep position.
Yeah.
Most leagues, 2, maybe even 3 starting wideouts plus a flex in PPR leagues. So definitely need to know this. A guy, remember we were talking last week about with Will Fuller with the broken collarbone expected to miss next 2 to 3 months. We were wondering between Jalen Strong or Braxton Miller. Well, there's a lot of competition for that number 2 spot on opposite side of DeAndre Hopkins. You have the aforementioned Miller. Bruce Ellington has looked good in camp so far. And then speedster Wendell Williams really embodies what Fuller does for this Texans offense, and that's a guy to take the top off the opposing defenses. So he may have a shot in there. But after all that's said and done, I went back to a guy that's been a bust, and I think this is the year that he's going to break out. I drafted him this year, Jalen Strong. just getting to his last numbers here on sorry, I got lost my notes, folks. Too many notes. He brought in both of his targets in his last preseason game for 11 yards and a touchdown. So he's being looked at in the red zone. That's why I think he's a good sleeper or whatnot. He's only 23 years old. So he still has that time to maturate, even though he disappointed last year. But, let's face facts. What wide receiver didn't disappoint with Brock Osweiler on this team?
The same amount of wide receivers are going to disappoint in Cleveland.
You really can't be too disappointed in Cleveland.
Yeah.
No.
This is a big window that's open with Fuller being out there. With that estimate of 2 to 3 months, that still puts him back around between week 5 and week 8 if there are any setbacks. But in my opinion, receivers usually have trouble getting back to 100% and slowly rounding the form, i.e. catching the football when first back with that collarbone, because that's painful. You know what I mean? I'd say the worst position probably is quarterback, right? And then after that, it's certainly wide receiver. So Jalen Strong, the window's open. Is he going to take it? Survey says, in my opinion, yes.
I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
I think this is his opportunity. It's his time to shine. What better way to do it than, with the opportunity presented to him?
Truth. Absolute. Get into a couple other guys I got on my list here. I'll go over to the running back. Kareem Hunt. He's being listed as the number 2 on some depth charts. He's more explosive and could have more upside than Karchandrick West. I'll look at his college numbers in just a second. I think both West and Hunt clearly need a wear injury to matter, but in my opinion, Hunt is greater than West, and that offensive line was ranked a B-. So he's definitely going to be running in a nice formation, a nice system. And looking at his numbers from the MAC division for Toledo, last year I had 25 yards shy of 1,500, good for a 5.6 average, 10 touchdowns. Chipped in, 41 receptions for 403 yards, so it can obviously be a threat catching the ball out of the backfield. And in his junior and sophomore season, not too far removed from these numbers. Going back to his sophomore year, in only 10 games, homie put up 1,631 yards. So, Hunt has a good pedigree.
He does. He's just stuck in a situation where he's probably not going to see much playing time to start the year. Obviously, it's Spencer Ware's offense right now. It's his position to lose. But I definitely see him. I could definitely see him taking over that running game by the end of the season.
Yeah, and it's like the same thing with Pittsburgh right now with Le'Veon not showing up to camp and all that. Right now Fitzgerald Toussaint is our number 2, but the guy that ran the ball in the last preseason game was James Conner, and 20 rushes, 98 yards. That's pretty solid, for his debut for us anyway. But he's a guy that you could always look for too, because when was the last time that Le'Veon played a full season?
Truth.
Never. So just, that's another guy to keep a lookout for. He's more of your waiver play. I maybe not draft him, and if he is, make him your Mr. Irrelevant. But it's a guy to look out for throughout the season. We don't know where Bell stands. What he put on Twitter has got me mind fucked right now. And
what did he put on Twitter?
Well, 2 days ago he put 9-4-18, which I don't know. Is that the start of next season? Is that where I don't know what that means. But then Steelers Nation tweeted at him and said, "Don't leave us, bro." He goes, "I'm not leaving unless they want me to leave." So.
Oh, that's a contract thing, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he only get a 1-year deal when he was looking for multiple?
Because they only franchised him.
Right.
But they tried to extend his contract to what they offered him was a 3-year, $40 million, which it was front loaded at $14 million the first 2 years and then $12 the last year. So he was looking for a 5-year deal, probably upwards of $70 million.
Well, apparently I've seen reports where he's turned down a 5-year deal offered by the Steelers.
Yeah, it's just he wants to get paid $15 million a year.
He wants to be in Devonta Freeman's shoes.
Well, no, if he signs the franchise tag, he will be almost $4 million ahead of Devonta Freeman. He signs his franchise tag, he's getting paid $12 million this year.
Right.
So he's already $4 million ahead of the highest paid running back. But he wants to get paid Antonio Brown money Odell money where
Well,
the
play
top
as many
wide
games
receiver.
as Antonio Brown did. We were having this argument at my draft that the people were saying, "Oh, you got to draft Bell before Brown." And I'm like, I don't know. I might draft Antonio if I was in the top 3 pick. I might have grabbed. I mean, it's a PPR league, so that had a little something to do with it. But I might draft Antonio before him because of the games played. And you make a great point with the salary too, because if they do franchise him again, I think that bumps up to like between 16 and 18 mil a year.
Yeah.
I thought I read. So, what do you?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's just, and you know what? I'm fine with him holding out because one, obviously he's smart about it. He's not getting fined.
Right.
You know, he can't get in any trouble anyway. He's not getting hurt.
Right.
He's not there. He's not getting hurt. The only thing I don't like is the timing is going to be messed up.
Sure.
And he's not putting himself in a position to get himself suspended again either. So I mean,
well, he could be with not being with the team. So,
I mean, see, this is my problem with holdouts, and why would you want to give more money to a guy that's going to sit there and just be like, listen, until you pay me, I'm not doing nothing. I'm done. Give me the contract, and then we'll start talking again. No, I'm not going to reward you for a contract. If you want to hold out, you can hold out. And that's just me, though. Like,
right. And I agree with you. Moralistically, your argument's sound. But, I mean, he's top 3 running back in the league, if not the best running back in the league. It's like sometimes you got to cater to these egos. You got to massage the ego a little bit. You know?
I mean, I absolutely get it. But I guess that's the reason why I'm not a GM in any professional sport. And I'm sitting here on the greatest radio station, right? A2D Radio.
That's right, baby. A guy I'm going to bring up, and this is a good example of what I'm deeming a sleeper as a guy people are sleeping on, much like you were saying with Jeremy Maclin, right? Tevin Coleman. I've gotten so much disrespect for having him as my RB2. He's not a sleeper because he's coming out of nowhere, which he's not, but I predict he will have more fantasy points than Devontae Freeman this year.
Oh, wow.
That's bold.
Yeah.
Very bold.
I mean, Freeman is currently in the league concussion protocol.
True.
So that's going to have an effect on his start of this season in some form or fashion. Plus, the Falcons and new OC Steven Sarkisian are shifting to a power running blocking scheme versus the zone scheme they had last season under Kyle Shanahan. Now, it's still a West Coast offense, which makes both backs very strong in PPR leagues, but this scheme shift by the O-line is not a good thing for Freeman, as he has thrived with this cutback style over the past 2 years. The power running of the power run blocking scheme suits Coleman so much better. I'm not saying it's going to be a clear timeshare as it has been, but I just think Tevin Coleman's going to be more productive this season. Hey, it's not the craziest things I've heard. I've heard somebody say Jeremy Langford's going to outpoint Jordan Howard. I mean,
Jordan Howard, no way.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Jordan Howard's, yeah. Langford could have, but he got hurt last year, and he basically ruined his career.
That's truth.
So
that is truth. One last guy I'm mentioning, a quarterback, nice sleeper, Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. He's having a fine camp, and really Mahomes might force the Chiefs' hand in 2017 rather than the 2018 that they were targeting. Alex Smith, is a steady quarterback in this league. I'll argue that he's not a bad fantasy quarterback, but Patrick Mahomes, we could be looking at the next Andrew Luck here.
Yeah.
Got him.
As long as he's not hurt every year.
Bam. On that note, we're going to bid you adieu. Thank you for tuning in to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com, being sponsored by the BMW of Atlantic City dealership. Let me get to their read really quickly. It's easy. They're easy to get 2 minutes off of exit 37 on the Garden State Parkway, and they ask you, have you ever wanted the ultimate driving experience? If you had, go visit BMW of Atlantic City, 6037 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. You can give them a call, 609-568-9200. For Brian Daly, Mike Kleinkoff, Rob Povia, Matt Tsutsuti on the ones and twos. Keep it there, 3 p.m. Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.